And so tonight's topic is going to be more of, I would say more of the self-defense aspect, but I'm not talking more along the lines of hand-to-hand combat or exercising your Second Amendment, so forth. I'm talking more along the lines of the recent news regarding the Suez Canal. Hopefully, I said that name properly. Um, I don't know if some of you have heard, or maybe some of you haven't heard, but it sounds like there's a big barge that's stuck in that canal called the Evergreen, and basically now that's where a lot of trade goes through. And so, unfortunately, not only can't that Evergreen ship get through and deliver products to different parts of the world, but we have other ships that try to get through. Unfortunately, they can't because now the Evergreen's stuck in that canal. So, with that said, my main focus in this episode is, are you prepared? How prepared are you when SHTF, aka shit hits the fan? Because, if you've heard my earlier episodes where I discuss prepping and self-defense, and I mentioned a few names that you could watch on YouTube that I personally recommend, such as the Angry Prepper. If you don't mind all this cussing on that note, but he's a great prepper. I mean, he does his videos really well. I know he has a second channel called The Angry Truth where he talks more about politics. Definitely you should check him out if you haven't already. I know there's the Alaska Prepper, there's Bear Independent, there's the Southern Prepper 1, let's see, Prepper Nurse 1, Canadian Prepper. There's a number of preppers out there. I know Patriot Nurse is one of them, where you could go get as many tips as possible, and you just keep an open mind, and you hear different viewpoints, and you entertain different viewpoints, because it really makes you think. It has those gears in your head turning to the question of what if. And so it's not fear-mongering, rather it's just be prepared. And when I say be prepared, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to know or have noticed that last year, let's see, about this time, it's been over a year now, where people had rushed to the stores for toilet paper, probably more than food or other necessities, and you see that all the toilet paper shelves and the paper towel shelves were cleaned out. Everyone bought it. And so that was one of the concerns when I was reading different articles regarding the recent events with the Suez Canal, where people were talking about a possible toilet paper shortage again. And this time it's going to hit hard a little more, because what they were saying, different sources, I looked at mainstream stuff, but I was trying to look at independent stuff as well. But it sounds like a number of weeks, if not days, are going to cause a delay, or they'll add a delay before the products are delivered to where they need to go in different parts of the world. And they were even talking about baby supplies, a number of things, coffee, just you name it. Whatever needed to be delivered as far as goods is most likely delayed because of this incident with the Evergreen stuck in the Suez Canal. Because now it just compounded, making a domino effect of a blockage. And that's another thing that I read, is that ships are actually considering going the other way, the longer way, which are going to increase prices, shipping prices, and I'm hearing hundreds of thousands of dollars. I can't confirm that exactly. I still have to look and see if I could get a straight answer on that, but they were suspecting that it would be a lot of money And you could only imagine if all that fuel needed, that would jack up the prices even more. So I want you to keep that in mind, whoever's listening, and to definitely prepare all that you can. I mean, I've been saying this, and a number of people have been saying this, to just prepare. Because if last year wasn't a clear understanding or a wake-up call of where we all need to prepare, whether it's toilet paper, whether it's water, whether it's canned goods, I mean, whether it's self-defense, if you have your hand-to-hand combat, or your firearms, if you live in a part of the world where you're allowed that, you have to think about what holes, what gaps are in your personal line of defense and your self-reliance. Because it's times like these where people definitely get desperate. I again mentioned at way back when with an earlier episode where in my part of the neighborhood, people are getting their mail stolen, and perhaps people are looking for Social Security payments, or actually other people's Social Security payments, try to fraudulently cash that out in addition to unemployment benefits. And it's crazy. And I've seen people just drive like I've never seen them drive before. I mean, there's always weird ass people driving, doing donuts and revving up, and there's all the smoke. But I'm noticing that more when I'm commuting, going on freeways. People are just, they're going out of their minds. And I believe that part of that is because they're frustrated and they just don't give a fuck, really. And so back to what I was saying about preparation. Yeah, you have to ask yourself, okay, make a checklist of what you need. Okay, I would say, first of all, do you have enough water? Because what if the water supply, your faucet doesn't turn on? Or perhaps food. Do you have canned goods at least? Is that good enough for at least 3 to 6 months? Maybe even a year? You have to ask yourself, and you literally have to calculate. And you know what, for each and every person, it depends. Maybe you're living by yourself, maybe you're living with your spouse or significant other. It's just you two, or maybe you have a big family. I don't know. But you have to go and take inventory of what you have and make sure that it lasts you for some time, because we have a situation right now, again, with the big barge stuck. And so this actually reminds me, I recall a few months ago there was a trucker strike, and I'm not sure if it happened again, but they were threatening. I've heard rumors though, I wasn't sure, I can't confirm that. But I know there was one trucker strike back in November, from the reports that I've seen. But there were also, well, at least these are rumors, they were wanting to do another one, but I don't know if it ever happened. But hey, that's a possible reality. You have to take that into consideration. In addition to, people are just desperate that they'd break into homes. And not only that, in what I said about mail getting stolen and unemployment benefits fraudulently cashed along with Social Security, I had mentioned in an episode regarding the Federal Reserve and how there was a glitch that, you don't want to hear that in the central banking system. Because I know, or from the reports, I've heard that people couldn't use not only their credit cards, but their debit cards, or they couldn't pull out any cash. And so you have to think in that situation, it's not to scare you. This is not fear-mongering. This is you getting prepared, or you're going to be fucked later on. And so it gets me, again, when I try to tell people this, and they don't want to hear it, either because they're scared, or they think I'm a fucking fear-mongering conspiracy theorist quack, when the proof is there. The evidence has been showing this past year that nothing is impossible. And so all I'm saying is to just take inventory, take stock of what you need, where you could hunker down in your home if need be. And again, that's another thing. The riots, in addition to people just getting frustrated and breaking into homes. I know, again, in my town, people's catalytic converters are getting stolen. So I'm hearing that from a number of neighbors, and also on the Nextdoor app, where yes, cars are getting broken into, but in addition, people are taking the catalytic converters because of the metal that they could sell and get a lot of money for it. So it's a clusterfuck of shit, to say the least. You just compound that. And there's a lot more stuff if you really want to talk about politics that are probably pissing people off even more. But I'm just mentioning the basics or the foundation of this topic that I'm talking about, where you should be preparing. And if you're not a prepper, I highly encourage you to prep somehow. And I don't, well, you know what I mean, we all should have prepped, but you know, doing something now is better than not doing anything at all. And I know a number of people who would just hold this off. They don't even want to think about it for a number of reasons. But if you're smart, you will definitely prepare. I mean, like I said, with firearms,